everyone. I'm Debbie Stokes of Three Women Voices. Today, my special guest is a former business executive who has used her talents and skills to start her own PR company. She has more than 30 years of expertise in communications, media relations, social media, and other communication areas. Today, she will be talking to you about how to communicate effectively to get what you want. Now, I introduce to you PR, media, and communications professional and social media specialist, Angela Bird. Hi, Angela. How are you?
Hi. I sound like the jack of all trades.
Well, that's the good thing. I'm happy to have you here.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So now, why should women learn how to convey what they want in life, relationships, and business?
Okay. Well, it's important first you have to identify to know what you want. And then if it's, whether it's a new job or you have a passion to learn other skills, make sure that you know exactly what you want and convey it. Take the time to research what you're interested in, or research that company for that job that you want to go for, or even if that's business, even in personal, sometimes you may decide that what you thought was something that you wanted, you discover I really have a love for something else. So it's just making sure you identify what you want, do your research, and just to make sure that you have all the information that you need to make that decision, and maybe seek feedback from maybe family, from friends, and just see how they gauge. They'll give their opinions, but in the end, you'll know what you want.
So how should a person receive a negative response when they're trying to get what they want?
Well, we get that. We get rejected, and the thing is never, ever give up.
Okay.
I don't care how many no's. Can you imagine most of your successful people have been rejected several times, mm-hmm. and still never gave up? I'm just thinking about Steve Jobs. Just imagine if he gave up. How many times, how many trials he's gone through, but you never give up. Mm-hmm. And even though you might have people that say to you, because you'll have some naysayers in the mix, you'll have those that will provide you with the positive support that you need, and then you'll have your naysayers. Mm-hmm. But if it's something inside of you that's driving you towards reaching a goal, never give up, mm-hmm. because there are always other resources and avenues that you can take along your journey that's going to help you to get where you need to be.
Right. Okay. How important is it for a woman to monitor how she presents herself on social media, especially when it relates to finding a job or having their own business?
You walk a fine line when it comes to social media, mm-hmm. and you just think of yourself as the brand. Mm-hmm. You are a brand. And how would you represent your brand, which is you? Do you want people to know that you're social responsible? Do you want someone to know that you are passionate about your craft? Do you want someone to see that you share your passion for the work that you do, that you're a family person? You have to just make sure that when it comes to image, when it comes to branding you, how do you want people to perceive you? Here's the thing. Never lose being genuine. Never lose being authentic. Mm-hmm. So you have some social media that goes sway in a different direction.
Okay.
But you always want people to see that you're authentic, you're genuine. The messages that you post are just that.
Okay.
That's really important. And here's the other thing. you never know who's watching what you're doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes, even though you may have people that may not like your post, don't get caught up in that. How many people are liking your post? Because sometimes that may just be, okay, well, this person is known here. I'm going to like the post instead of looking at but you never know who you're inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
Just because somebody may not recognize you doesn't mean you're an inspiration to that person. And you never know. And I'm going to go back to you never know who's watching you. I had an experience during the pandemic, and I received an email from Forbes.
Okay.
And it was Forbes Online. And it was an invite, not just one email. I actually received two.
Okay.
Because I thought the first one was like, Forbes reaching out to me. It was kind of that shocker. And then they reached out again. And I was like, oh, wow, this is Forbes Online. And so when they reached out to me, the invites were for me to join their small business council. I was really excited about it. They even interviewed me. And during the interview, I asked them, I said, well, how did you choose me? Why was I selected for you to invite my company, me, for this opportunity, which I was really excited about. And they said they looked at all my social media platform. They looked at my business website, my LinkedIn, and then I'm also a member of the Public Relations Society of America. So
Okay.
that played a part of it too. They were really excited. They really loved my background and all that I had to offer. And for them to reach out to me, I mean, that in itself was, again, it was just exciting. I didn't even share it, about this opportunity. When it came down to revenue, that's what happened. The qualification is you have to make $1 million in revenue.
Oh.
Although they were willing to work with me at $500,000.
Okay.
So Debbie, I have a whole lot of work to do. But they're willing to take me on if I reach that revenue status. So that was really exciting. But it just the idea. I mean, it was just exciting, even during this time, to get an invite from Forbes. And I would have been able to provide them with information, business tips or other types of business experiences on Forbes.
Okay.
And I was just, and you're always hard on yourself. And that's one of the things I want to tell ladies. We are extra hard on ourselves, because when we have our families, we want to make sure that they're living well, your kids are, on the right path, that you're on the right path in your career and your business, whether you work for someone or you're working for yourself. I mean, it's always this level of perfection when we really should not be hard on ourselves. I mean, to stay consistent in what you do, it's going to show no matter what.
Yeah, that's right. Then tell us a little bit about your company.
Okay, well, PICG Inc. The company, my business provides services, which are, of course, public relations and communications with tasks, and it all depends on the client. But basically, it offers public relations services in respect to media relations, social media management, and marketing, branding, a lot of the strategy that comes into play with each of those components that really fall under PR, but also a big part of communications.
Okay. So now, can you give, for self-published authors, can you explain to them why they need a PR person?
It's PR in itself. It's a lot of work. It's not glamorous. It becomes fun once you're in the studio with your client and they're doing an interview, because that's the end result. It involves a lot of work. I mean, and I know that there's information out there for people that they can do their own, learn how to write their own press releases, manage their own social media. But once they understand what's involved in doing all that work, and then that takes away from what their goal is. Either they're in the process of writing a new book or wrapping up the book that they have, and then they're thinking about, okay, really, how, who's my audience for my book, and where should I start? And a PR person can gauge you in the right direction.
Okay.
We should be really doing all the grunt work of helping you to put you in the right direction. Even if we don't necessarily represent you, but we can at least guide you along the way, so that you're in a good place.
Okay. Now, what has been the most rewarding part of your business, and what has been the hardest part of your business?
The hardest part, well, I'm gonna go to your first question. The most rewarding part? The most rewarding part of my job is when my clients are happy.
Okay.
It's all about my client, really. I want to see them shine, and if I'm able to make that happen, if I'm able to push their event or push their product or push their service, that's going to shine a light on them. That's my job. That's what I'm paid to do. And that is the most rewarding, getting that interview. And then for me to be in that studio with them while they're doing their interview, that is really rewarding. The other part of it is, although I have, relationships and have created such a strong working relationship and rapport with clients and producers, that's a lot of work in itself. And even though you may, know some of them and you have a reputation, like I've built a reputation among my producer friends and some of my reporter friends to they know when my clients come for interviews, they're prepared. Okay. They're 100% prepared. And most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, I'm with my clients when they're doing interviews. Okay. Yeah, and because that gives a comfort, especially for those that have never done interviews before. I'm there in case that, I'm just always making sure that I'm protective of my clients and I'm there for them. Right. But the part is, even at times, even though I'm doing everything that I feel are right for them, they may not always get that interview. Okay. Okay, or they may not get all the things that they thought they could. And sometimes you don't know when you send a resume to a producer, even though they could be interested in your client, it's not a good fit for their show for that week. Right. Or there's other matters going on that it's like, okay, we'll put this on a back burner for now, or things like that. So that's the hard part, when you can't get your client that interview at that moment. Okay. But my numbers, I'm pretty successful in landing my clients. I'm going to say I'm at 98%. Wow. Of getting my clients placement. Kudos to you. Yeah. I mean, that's how I'm pretty diligent. Okay. And you can probably see a lot of my work is public. And it just, my work speaks for itself. Okay. So it's not an exaggerated number. I don't think, I may have had one or two clients, and it all depends on their subject or bad timing, as you run it into that they may not have gotten the interview that they wanted. But most of my clients have been in interviews. Wow. So, yeah. All right. Okay. So now, tell us about your partnership in the Each One Teach One Foundation, and tell us what the foundation is. Okay. Well, I'm co-founder and president, and COO of Each One Teach One Culinary Arts Foundation. It's a 501c3 nonprofit where myself and my co-founder, who happens to be a private chef and caterer in Charlotte, which is actually where I am now, we teach kids. We start with kids, although we do involve parents, adults, anyone that's interested in really learning the basis behind healthy cooking and learning how to eat healthy, how to shop for healthy foods. This is what our organization does.
Okay.
We've also had, just before the pandemic hit, we were launching some healthy cooking classes in partnership with the American Heart Association in Aramark, which is their Healthy for Life. So we were in the midst of, we actually had 4 different educational components that we launched to teach in an area of Charlotte where it's considered somewhat like at risk. I don't say at risk, but like where there's a high risk of heart disease and diabetes and so forth.
Okay.
And so we started teaching classes to parents of students at a school in Charlotte.
Okay.
And so we started that. We were able to wrap up 2 of those classes successfully, and then we have 2 more to wrap up. And of course, we would have wrapped all the classes up before COVID.
Okay.
So we're involved in that, and of course, we do our own healthy cooking demonstrations. We're actually going to be producing some healthy cooking demos on our YouTube channel. So we're in the midst of that. So because we know now, I mean, of course, we have to keep things going and do things virtually. So we'll be in the midst of doing all of that as well. But that's my organization. That's my passion, and as well as my co-founder. It's our passion to really teach and really start with the kids. We feel that if we reach kids to teach them not only how to eat healthy, but even how to cook healthy, there'll be those kids, that generation that's going to be influential in teaching their families, their parents, how to cook foods that are healthy. To when they go grocery shopping, they'll know how to choose those fruits and vegetables, because it's going to be fun. I mean, it's going to be good for them, and to reach them and starting at such a young age is just very important to us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, now this is the last question.
Mm-hmm.
You give some last words of advice or empowerment for women.
I think there's still so much work to be done among women. I just think that sometimes many of us can be supportive, and then I think that there's some that may not know how to provide the support that's necessary, or the support that's needed among each other. I just think that sometimes we can be our own worst enemy, and yet we can learn so much from each other if we really learn how to open up and embrace it.
Okay. Thank you, Angela.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure. If anyone wanted to reach out to you, how can they reach you?
Well, they can reach out to me. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for my business at PICGINC, and my website is picginc.com, and also on LinkedIn, so you'll learn more in my role too. I serve as an on-call spokesperson for FEMA during presidential declared disasters. And I want to end with this. It's like, although I have my own public relations business, there's always still a lot that you can do to share your passion. And because I have a passion for being in front of the camera, for media relations, being able to serve in that capacity for FEMA, that allows me to hone my skills so much more.
Okay.
So that's why you never give up, no matter what. Just out and with, never, ever, 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 ever give up.
Thank you so much. And if you want to reach out to Three Women Voices, you can reach us at threewomenvoices.com. Our email is threewomenvoices@gmail.com. We're on Instagram at @3_Women Voices. And we're on Facebook at @3 Women Voices. And I thank you for watching.